Hello, welcome to Backyard Boomers. I'm George Phillips.
Hi everybody, I'm Carolyn McCormick. And today we're going to jump right into a topic that is near and dear to the hearts of most of the women watching, I suspect, and that is men's health.
Men's health? What do I have to worry about men's health for, Carolyn? I'm fit as a fiddle. Nothing wrong with me.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, at home I have a wonderful husband and a wonderful son and a dear father, all of whom mean the world to me, as I suspect is true of households across the country. So today's show is dedicated to finding out why it is that we women have to prod you to get your physicals. How long would it take, George?
Oh, 2 years, 3 years.
All right, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, we want you guys, you mowers, you trimmers, you soil turners, to be gardening with us for a very long time.
And gentlemen, even if you don't have a gardening partner, pay attention. This is a serious subject. Did you know that 1 million people die every year from heart disease? And it's the leading cause of death amongst men in the United States. So join me now as I talk with Dr. Leonard Berry about this situation and ways we can combat it. Well, we just heard some startling statistics about heart disease. And joining me now is Dr. Leonard Berry, who is a staff physician for internal medicine at the Blewett Flowers Health Centre, which is part of Parkland Hospital. Hello, Leonard. Thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Well, tell me, what is your biggest concern about heart disease for men?
My biggest concern is that heart disease is a #1 cause of death in men. And because of that, I think it's really important that we pay close attention to it and try to make adjustments in things as far as lifestyle, as far as diet and exercise that can make a difference in the longevity of men as well as their health while they're living. The average lifespan of a man is 5 years less than it is of a woman. So men's health is a big issue if we can make some adjustments so that we can live longer.
So once we were young and healthy, and suddenly things go wrong as we get older, what sort of things go wrong?
Well, our fat distribution in our bodies change for multiple reasons, some of which can be decrease in exercise level, decrease in testosterone levels, our diet changes, and our physical activity level is less.
And this all affects the heart?
Yes, it does, because with that decrease in physical activity, as well as maintaining diets that are high in fat, our total body fat level goes up, our cholesterol levels go up, the protective type of cholesterol called HDL levels go down, and those protect us from heart disease.
Is there some correlation between a big heavy guy and a short heavy guy?
Yes, well, there's something called a body mass index, and what that is it's a ratio of height to weight, and that's a parameter of how healthy we are and what are our cardiovascular risk. The higher body mass indexes are associated with more coronary artery disease, more heart disease, and the good body mass index range should be between 19 and 24.
Okay, so I'm looking at someone's body mass index. What are one of the immediate things I can see, say, that guy's not in good shape? Is it the belly?
Well, the fat distribution in men is called the apple fat distribution, versus in women it's called a pear fat distribution, where the weight starts to, the fat starts to distribute around the midsection of a man versus around the hips of a woman. And the significance of that is, in a man, the apple fat distribution is associated with higher incidence of high blood pressure, higher incidence of diabetes, and heart disease.
So we look like apples and women look like pears.
Yes, and that apple distribution is significant because if we can change that or reverse that, we can reduce some of those complications, including diabetes.
Give us some tips that you would like to see men do which will give them that more cardiovascular exercise.
Well, moderate levels of exercise have been recommended, and that usually means about 30 minutes of exercise per day, 5 times per week.
Now, you just mentioned diabetes. Now, a lot of people out there suffer from diabetes, but could you explain diabetes a bit more for our viewers?
Well, diabetes is the body's ability, or in this particular case, the inability to manage the glucose load, and that's the amount of sugar that you take in. Can you metabolize it and keep it in a low level? And diabetics are unable to do that. And some of the complications of that is elevated blood sugar levels that can affect the patient's bodies, the nervous system, the blood vessels, and can increase cholesterol levels because the sugar is converted to fats. So diabetics have more complications, including heart disease, neuropathy, which is nerve problems. So it's really important to keep blood sugar levels in a manageable range. And the ways that that can occur is by keeping body mass index, or keeping the weight down, keeping the physical activity levels up, as well as reducing the amount of sugars that are being digested or taken in.
Well, we've covered a lot of good ground here, but in closing, Leonard, can you give our viewers some tips on how to keep heart disease and diabetes at bay?
Exercise more, moderate exercise, 30 minutes per day. Eliminate smoking. Eliminate as much alcohol, or keep the alcohol level to a very low amount. Adjust your diet to have less fat, and increase the amount of fiber in vegetables and fruits. Those things will make a big difference in reducing total body cholesterol and fat levels, managing blood sugar levels. Those are very important.
And small portions.
In small portions.
Well, it's been great talking with you, Leonard.
Okay, my pleasure.
Thanks for being here. And we'll be back with more Backyard Boomers.
You might be surprised to find out what the #1 cancer killer is among young men in their 20s and 30s. George visits with Dr. Lair Lotan to discuss this important topic and more.
Now, gentlemen, I want your full attention, and ladies too. Get your gentlemen in front of the TV set and watch this segment very closely. We're going to deal with a very delicate subject for men: cancer of the prostate and cancer of the testicles. Very delicate, or does it have to be? Well, joining me here is Dr. Lair Lotan.
Hello, sir.
Delicate subject, or does it have to be?
Well, I certainly think that it shouldn't be delicate. It's the #1 cancer in men, prostate cancer that is, and testicular cancer is the #1 cancer in younger men.
So what are some of the signs that older men could look for to say, well, I need to be checked up?
Unfortunately, prostate cancer has no symptoms until it's very advanced, and men need to just go to their doctor to get evaluated for it, starting at age 50 for most men, but starting at age 45 for men with a family history of prostate cancer or men who are African American. Now, exam is actually quite simple to feel the prostate. It's usually an exam through the rectum, and then there's a simple blood test called the PSA test, which should be done starting at age 50 on a yearly basis for men with no history.
So basically they'll just draw some blood and then they put it through a test procedure?
Yes.
And they can see the PSA if it balances or doesn't, something like that?
Right. There's usually a cutoff level, and it depends on the size of your prostate and your age. The most commonly used cutoff right now is a level of 4. Less than 4, meaning that you're at a lower risk for cancer, not a 0 risk, but a lower risk for cancer, and over 4, meaning that you should have a biopsy.
Well, moving on to cancer of the testicles, I mean, the one we most know, the most famous one, of course, is Lance Armstrong. But what are some of the signs and some of the tests that men can do for that?
What you're really feeling for is a hard lump in your testicle that wasn't there. Usually you're not going to have any pain associated with it, and you're not going to have any symptoms at all, especially not with early testicular cancer. But since it's a fairly easy exam to do, and men take showers at least once a month, I suspect, you should be able to do an exam. And really, you're the best indicator, because most young men don't see doctors at all. Even if they get sick, they just bear it out. And so you're not going to have a physical.
What about your diet? Can the diet help with the prostate?
There's no question that the Western high-fat diet is bad for your prostate and is a significant contributor both to prostate cancer and to colon cancer. The incidence of cancers of the prostate in Japan, for example, is less than 1/100th of the rate in Western societies. Probably some of that's genetic, but most of it's dietary. So a high-fat diet is certainly problematic.
Well, going back to something way back, there was huge links, I believe, between people smoking and prostate cancer. Is that, still a valid argument?
Actually, smoking is most commonly linked with cancers of the lung as well as bladder cancer. There is probably not a very strong association between smoking and prostate cancer, which is not a good reason to resume smoking if you had quit already. But the strongest link actually is age and heredity. So the older you are, the more likely you are to develop it. If you have family history, you're more likely to develop it. But the fact is that 1 in 6 men, whether or not they have a family history or not, are going to get it over their lifetime. And if you're going to get it, you might as well get it and detect it early rather than when it's already spread and no longer curable.
What message would you like to give to the viewers, or especially the men out there, about prostate cancer and testicular cancer?
Well, I think that men need to take responsibility for their health, you know, especially once you leave home and mom's not there to take care of you. And when you go to college, you have to take care of it. I mean, some of it's going to be dietary, some of it's to be avoiding risk factors such as smoking. Doing self-exam is an easy, very easy way to detect testicular cancer early. And as you get older, you need to start evaluating yourself for colon cancer and prostate cancer, which are the number 1 and 3 cancers in men, which means getting a yearly checkup. And your doctor will probably monitor your blood pressure, monitor your cholesterol, and other things that will maintain your lifestyle and your length of life. So these are important issues, and men need to take responsibility for their health. And of course, if your wife is there to tell you to go to the doctor, that doesn't hurt.
Take action, take it early, and just step up and see what's happening.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Lotan. It's been valuable information. We'll be right back with more Backyard Boomers.
In the beginning of the show, I mentioned the fact that I have 3 generations of men in my family, and each of them has very different fitness strategies. So here to talk to us more about that is personal trainer Joshua Colson. Welcome to the show, Joshua.
Thank you very much, Carolyn.
Thanks for being here.
Always
so,
here.
what are the prevalent issues that you see?
I see 3 prevalent issues when people come into the gym to train. Number 1, people generally in their 18 to 20 range want to put on muscle. They want to be the bodybuilder.
That's my son.
Your guys in your late 30s to early 50s who are now living a more sedentary lifestyle, and they don't care about being, on the beach. They want to lose the fat. They want to be happy with themselves. And then you have the other group, which is 60s and up, and they're concerned with staying alive, being healthy, walking, anything that they can do to keep from becoming debilitated in their old age.
It's a prevention game.
Prevention game.
Is there any thread or rule of thumb that should always abide, like you should always have cardio or you should always have certain diet, or?
There's definitely rules that apply. The most underlying current for how you're going to stay fit, how you're going to regulate that would be metabolism. And as you know, metabolism is the chemical and physical processes that go on inside the body, okay, that build or tear down tissue and then generate heat. Okay, what does all that mean? What it means is that the metabolism are the things that cause you to gain or lose weight inside your body, chemical processes.
So when you slow down, as my metabolism has slowed down, I've gained weight.
And you've probably heard an adage that as the older you get, your metabolism slows down.
Right.
And a lot of people think that's directly based on age, but what it's based on is muscle loss. As you get older, the body naturally loses muscle for several reasons, but one of the most prevalent reasons is the lack of activity or exercise as we get older. And when that happens, we begin to lose muscle mass. When we lose muscle mass, our metabolism begins to slow down. Why? Because muscle actually requires nourishment, all right, and fat is passive. Muscle tissue is exactly opposite. It's like a newborn baby. It needs nourishment, okay? It constantly needs to be fed, and when you feed it, it grows. The more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is, the more fat you burn.
Well, how am I feeding it? With my diet or with my exercise routine?
With both, okay? Diet is crucial to everything. What you put in is going to define what you become, okay? You look at what you eat. Your protein is the building block of your muscle. So when you eat protein, that's going to be synthesized into muscle. You build more muscle, again, you burn more fat.
Lean protein.
Lean protein, obviously, your boneless, skinless chicken breasts, lean cuts of steak, turkey, things like that. Complex carbohydrates are what's going to give you energy because protein is a core source of energy. So in the weight room throughout the day, you need your whole grains. You need things like sweet potatoes, brown rice, things that are going to be used by your body for energy. And then you need your healthy fats. Those fats, they're going to help with your skin, they're going to help with your hair, and help you actually metabolize the bad fats in your body. That's where diet plays a huge factor in. Then exercise, of course, is actually literally expending calories when you work out, speeding up your metabolism. And it's actually shown that when you work out hard, that your body will continue to burn more calories up till 12 hours after your workout, as opposed to if you were just sitting sedentary.
And muscle mass is connected to bone mass, right? Bone density?
Most definitely.
So if I am that very thin, older person, do I need to be working with weights?
You do need to be working with weights. A lot of people have the idea that as you get older, your muscles get older. And so you don't need to work out with weights for fear of injury. But they've actually done studies that have shown that the muscle mass at age 90, or the muscle tissue at age 90 is the same as the muscle tissue at 20. Okay?
You're kidding.
It will respond in the same manner. When you work it out, okay, because actually building muscle isn't what you do in the gym. You're actually tearing down muscle in the gym. You go in the gym and it's making microscopic tears in the muscle fiber. Your body goes, I hate that. I don't like being torn. So it rebuilds muscle tissue on top of that to prevent further injury. So if you're 90 years old and you're working out your muscle tissue, it's still going to break down and it's still going to rebuild, just like when you were 20. The difference is obviously the speed at which this happens and also the care that's taken with things like ligaments and joints and all the other things that come with age.
Mm-hmm. So the goal is to keep your metabolism up as you age in order to have more energy.
To keep the metabolism fast, we need to get in the gym. We need to do exercise that's going to build muscle. And then, of course, we need to have that healthy diet full of lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, which are going to promote building that muscle mass.
Okay, so let's wrap up here. For my 17-year-old, my 50-year-old, and my 84-year-old, what are the bullet points?
At 17, his growth plates are beginning to close up, and he can now put on his original muscle mass, which is going to be the base muscle that his body uses for the rest of his life. Now's the time to lift heavy but safe and to build overall muscle mass. Your 50-year-old now is concerned with getting rid of the additional fat that he's put on due to a sedentary lifestyle. So he needs to begin to train with weights again, but instead he's going to start off with more stretching exercises to make sure that his body is limber and he's not going to pull anything due to the inactivity.
Okay.
And then, of course, lifting with weights, but he's going to use higher repetitions to build lean muscle mass as opposed to just bulk.
Okay.
And your 84-year-old is going to look at doing more body weight exercises as opposed to throwing on a lot of additional weight. Things like lunges, body squats, and things that only use his own body weight. That way he's not only getting the stretching out of it, but he's also getting some resistance from his body weight, but keeping him safe at the same time.
All right, thanks an awful lot for being on the show, Joshua.
You're very
Very
welcome.
interesting. Lots of good information. And Backyard Boomers, we'll be right back.
It's a well-known fact that men who never cook or help in the kitchen will cook on the grill. Join us now for a great grilling recipe.
Hey guys, what's up? My name's Eric, and I'm a chef, and I like to prepare food healthy, fast, convenient, and stuff that's good for you that you'd like to make at home, but you just don't have time to do it. But I'm going to show you the fastest, easiest, healthy way to do it right now. So we want to get these potatoes. All you want to do is cut them in half. Don't mess around with slicing them because they'll fall right to the grill. You don't want to have that happen. All you're going to do is throw them in the bowl. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil, a little light salt, or sea salt, sorry, some pepper. All right, you just want to place these potatoes on basically the cool spot of your grill. You don't want to put them directly in the center. They'll overcook and they'll burn before they get done. So you want to place them nice and even across here. We'll let these cook for about 10 to 12 minutes. We'll turn them in the process, but after that, we'll take them off and they'll be ready to eat. All right, now that we have potatoes on the grill, we're going to focus on the vegetables. These vegetables that I've picked out today: zucchini, squash, little red onion, red bell pepper, green bell pepper for color, and a little bit of green onion. We'll do that last for garnish. With these, I just cut lengthwise. We're not going to chop them any further. Bell peppers. Core the seeds out because you don't want to eat those, they're bad. Okay, we will season these separate from the onions so they don't break up too much. A little bit of sea salt, pinch of black pepper. Again, we'll shake them up. You're gonna make sure you get them nice and seasoned, well coated on all the sides. You don't want any hot, dry spots. Make sure all the flavor spreads out. Okay, we will put them on this side of the grill so they can cook a little faster than this side. I know that on my grill, this side's hotter than this side. This is a slow cook here. We want it to cook nice and evenly. And we'll let these cook for an additional 5 to 7 minutes with these bell peppers. All right, now that we have our vegetables on the grill, We're going to focus on the best part of the meal, which is the beef. We're using a lean cut top sirloin. As you see, there's very little fat, hardly any marbling. It's a nice choice cut of beef. A lot of people are afraid of beef only because the fat. It's actually a higher monounsaturated fat than saturated fat, which we all know is a healthier fat for the heart. What we're going to do with this is simply throw it in our same seasoning pan, both pieces, and we're going to put a little fresh herbs in there as well. Fresh thyme, a little bit of garlic, sea salt, and black pepper. Little garlic, little pepper. Can't go too much on the pepper, it's awesome with it. And again, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil for the flavor. Now I'm going to go ahead and rub these up together. You're not going to go wrong if you smear it in nice and pretty. All right, now that we have the beef ready for the grill, see that nice garlic, smells awesome. You can almost taste that through the lens. All right, we're going to place it right there on the grill. Right in the hottest spot, because I like mine medium rare, so we're going to put it right there. As you can see, it only took us a few minutes to get all this wonderful food prepped up on the grill right away with no trouble at all. Fast, healthy, convenient. And now let me show you our finished product. Here we go. This is one of our wonderful entrees we can make on the grill, just one of many you can make on the grill. Fast and healthy, full of omega fatty acids. And I have the complex carbohydrate from the potato, the fibrous vegetables to finish out the entree, and then sprig of rosemary. Really finishes off the plate, sets off the plate, nice garnish. There you go. Back to you, George and Carolyn.
Well, everybody, that's it for today's show. And I think we've all learned how important it is for you guys to take care of yourselves.
You're absolutely right, Caroline. We have to eat right, exercise more, and get those yearly checkups.
That's right, because we want to keep you blossoming.
Oh, as we say in England, you're blooming well right. I'll take that note, and we'll be back next week with more Backyard Boomers.
Bye now.